Behind the dazzling maestro's music, a hidden struggle unfolded. Whispers of a serious health crisis had long circulated, but now a devastating diagnosis loomed, threatening to shatter his world forever. Tour dates vanished, and then his own son, Pierre Rieu, broke the silence. What has befallen the King of the Waltz? Is his son's statement a veiled goodbye to his father? Join us as we delve into the heartbreaking details of this potential farewell. The relentless demands of his schedule had clearly taken their toll. If André Rieu is known for anything, it's his fierce dedication to his art, pushing him to perform in countless cities across the globe, even under brutal conditions. Remember March 2024? His highly anticipated return to Mexico City after 6 long years. 4 out of 6 concerts sold out, yet Rieu was struck down by a vicious flu. The journey to Mexico was punishing. A grueling 14-hour flight, coupled with a disorienting 7-hour time difference, all compounded by the city's dizzying 2,200-meter altitude. It proved too much for the 74-year-old maestro's body. Then, his son Pierre Rieu stepped forward, confirming the grim reality. He told the public that the altitude, the jet lag, and a nasty circulating virus were enough to floor his father, a man already at 74, leaving him desperately needing rest and recovery. This incident sent shockwaves. Back in 2010, André had already battled vestibular neuritis, a dangerous viral infection of the inner ear that left him bedridden and unable to even stand for a terrifying period. He called it a brutal wake-up call, forcing him to finally prioritize his health. Yet, despite these serious scares, his burning passion for music kept him on the road. But his strength continued to ebb, the relentless physical demands of touring slashing the number of performances. Pierre admitted they plummeted from around 140 concerts a year to 100, with plans to shrink it further to just 80. Still, the show went on until 2024, when devoted fans journeyed across the world to witness his magic on the Mexico stage. The initial performances went off without a hitch, but then disaster struck. Rieu collapsed, gripped by chills and a raging fever. This was no mere exhaustion. Pierre and the team scrambled, making emergency arrangements to fly him back to Maastricht. The decision didn't just impact the maestro. Over 120 crew members faced disrupted incomes and schedules. And the shocking truth: the shows were never insured. Fans who had waited years, their money for tickets and travel now wasted, were left utterly heartbroken. The cancellation served as a stark reminder: even legends have their limits. These moments of fragility are more common than you think. Tight schedules, punishing altitude, and the relentless march of age are a treacherous combination. Even Donna Alberti, a regular performer with André, reportedly suffered severe fatigue and nosebleeds in Mexico. Emma, a singer, described the dizzying emotional whiplash of going from the high of performing for thousands to the crushing low of canceling shows within a single day. This emotional roller coaster spares no one. His son then had to deliver a devastating blow. Tours might no longer be feasible, not just for his father, but for the entire team. Flights across continents and performances in brutal conditions like extreme heat or high altitude had become colossal risks. A hushed rumor even circulated that André confided in his wife backstage, admitting he didn't know if he could endure such demands again. A profound statement for a man known for his incredible resilience. Through all this, his son's devotion shines brightly. But did André's own father offer the same unwavering support for his youthful passions and dreams? I try to take my responsibility and to make it beautiful. Now there is a lot of, but let us try to be nicer to each other. The weight of a father's silence is heavy. In interviews, André rarely speaks of his father, and when he does, his voice cracks with raw emotion. He revealed that his father never uttered those simple yet powerful words, "I love you," or "I'm proud of you." That silence, it said, profoundly shaped him. His father, also named André Rieu, was a strict, distant, and demanding music educator and conductor. Young André grew up in Maastricht, music becoming both a burden and a gift. Offstage, he desperately sought the approval he never received, while on stage, he found dazzling freedom. Could this be the driving force behind his relentless pursuit of perfection? Perhaps his concerts were not just performances, but a desperate message to a father who never truly listened. The immense pressure to forge his own path while living up to a family legacy undoubtedly took its toll. Rieu transformed conventional classical music into breathtaking spectacles, seamlessly blending elegance with pure entertainment. Yet, even this dazzling success couldn't completely heal those old wounds. He embarked on countless tours, never rested, set impossibly high standards, and maintained a non-stop creative output. Were these driven solely by professional ambition? Or were they also his emotional armor, shielding him from past hurts? One heartwarming aspect is André's determination to forge a different relationship with his own sons. Take Pierre, who not only manages his father's complex logistics, navigating crises and shielding him when needed, but now also bravely speaks on his father's behalf when illness silences the maestro. Pierre's emotion was palpable, his voice trembling as he explained the show's cancellation. In that moment, it became crystal clear. The father who longed for his own father's appreciation had a son who cherished him deeply. André yearned to build something warm and enduring, a vision reflected in his life and his beloved Johann Strauss Orchestra. To him, they were more than just musicians. They were his chosen family. When a member tragically died in 2016, André was overcome with grief, canceling shows in mourning. When another suffered a heart attack before a 2023 concert, André was resolute in his support. These were not just colleagues, but companions on his incredible journey. His emotional vulnerability often lay hidden beneath his vibrant performances, but the recent diagnosis has seemingly cracked that strong facade. Now, stability is the priority. He will strive to continue performing but closer to home, mainly in Maastricht and neighboring countries. The era of far-flung tours is over. Even media interviews are on hold, any unnecessary travel scrapped. The maestro is changing his tempo. During the 2020 pandemic lockdown, with all concerts silenced, André found solace in the simple act of baking. Late-night sessions and flour-dusted hands replaced his violin grip. What began as a distraction blossomed into therapy. He even boldly competed in Heel Holland Bakt, the Dutch version of the Great British Bake Off. When asked if he'd ever trade music for baking, he laughed, declaring it could never happen. Music, he said, was his very soul, but baking was a gentle reminder that joy can be found in unexpected places and peace discovered in the quiet moments. He still harbors dreams and continues to create. But for now, he's navigating a new path, one concert and one breath at a time. Given André's own father's distant nature, what kind of relationship did he cultivate with his sons? And did either of them follow in his monumental footsteps? Beyond the dazzling stage, André Rieu and his wife Marjorie built a stable and deeply family-oriented life. Their sons, Pierre and Marc, became their world. Even amidst relentless global travel, André kept his family at the heart of everything. It's not just one orchestra, it's my orchestra, and I built it. It's my life work. You know, I built this orchestra. Despite the constant touring and immense fame, he poured tremendous effort into being a supportive father and husband, determined to be present for his two sons. Pierre emerged as the more public figure, a crucial support system for his father as the production manager. He became André's voice of reason and assurance during turbulent times, also serving as his tour coordinator. André is undoubtedly the face of the empire, but Pierre is the indispensable engine, managing the complex logistics and overseeing the travel of the massive 100-plus crew that accompanies the orchestra. He also steps in as a pillar of strength when André's health wavers. Pierre is described as fiercely loyal, pragmatic, and remarkably efficient. In interviews, he speaks protectively and directly about his father, his admiration for the maestro's resilience shining through, alongside his deep concern for his well-being. Their relationship is built on mutual respect and clearly defined roles. Pierre once declared his love for working with his father, stating that even when challenges arose, not from disagreements, but from the incredibly high standards set by André, they always found a way. The trust and expectation André placed in his son's hands were immense, granting Pierre complete authority over crucial decisions regardless of the impact on revenue or fans. His second son, Marc Rieu, however, prefers a life far from the public eye. While Pierre is deeply involved in the orchestra's daily operations, Marc pursued a different artistic path, a visual one. He dedicated himself to fine arts and art history, now thriving as a professional painter. His evocative atmospheric scenes and landscapes invite deep introspection and stir profound emotions. Marc's paintings have been exhibited internationally and in the Netherlands. Though he carves his own path, independent of his father's fame, the undeniable creative spark of the Rieu bloodline flows through him too. He cherishes his privacy, a stark contrast to his brother and father, rarely granting interviews and showing no inclination towards the music business. While he intentionally avoids the spotlight, Marc reportedly shares a warm and affectionate bond with his father, holding him in deep respect. André, in turn, speaks proudly of both his sons, celebrating the unique paths they've chosen. Did his sons intentionally choose a private life, or was it a path shaped by their upbringing? And what kind of upbringing did they experience? Grounded in unwavering loyalty and a deep respect for privacy. Unlike many celebrities who thrust their children into the limelight, using them to cultivate their public image or exploit them for media attention, André Rieu fiercely guarded his private life, keeping it separate from his stage persona. If his sons ever appeared publicly, it was for a specific purpose. He may have traversed continents, performed for millions, and achieved global acclaim, but his family remained the unwavering center of his world. Despite the immense stress of balancing a personal life with a sprawling touring empire, he made sure to be present for his family. His own father's lack of affection and love during his formative years fueled a vow never to repeat that with his own children, a promise he steadfastly kept. He doesn't measure his success as a father by whether his sons followed his musical footsteps, but rather by the unwavering support they offer, the emotional security they share, the closeness they maintain, and the quiet, enduring legacy they build together. Of course, we work together. I always had a dream when I was a small boy that I wanted to marry a girl with whom I would work together, and I think it's a perfect way of marriage. In a world obsessed with spectacle and the relentless spotlight, Rieu's bond with his family stands out for its profound discretion, depth, and cherished privacy. His family is his bedrock, and he ensured that while his music captivated millions, his home was filled with laughter, love, and unwavering loyalty, the very essence that sustained him. His sons are not just part of his story, they are integral to his piece. Turning our attention to the beautiful connection he shares with his wife, How did André meet Marjorie, and what led to their enduring marriage? The foundation of a lifelong partnership was laid during their student years in Brussels in 1975. André Rieu met his future wife, Marjorie Cayman. They married that very year, embarking on a life journey together where professional and personal lives intertwined seamlessly. Marjorie became the driving force behind her husband's soaring career, also serving as the astute manager of the Johann Strauss Orchestra, as well as an arranger and composer. Their marriage, now approaching its golden 50-year milestone, was built on unwavering stability, deep understanding, shared ambitions, and fundamental shared values. André has always publicly lauded his wife's pivotal role, not just as his life partner, but also as a brilliant and creative collaborator. She remains an indispensable part of his career's very fabric. Yet, despite the steadfastness of their marriage and their prominent public standing, the intense periods of touring inevitably sparked whispers. Any public appearances with women who were not family or close associates invariably ignited rumors of infidelity. André consistently and vehemently denied these baseless claims. He even expressed his deep sadness and frustration over these persistent accusations, stating that they not only disrespected his marriage, but also the woman who had stood by him throughout his remarkable career. In the early 2000s, he spoke of the profound hurt these false stories inflicted on Marjorie. Stories that targeted both their relationship and their health. Though she prefers to remain out of the public eye, Marjorie's influence is undeniable in every facet of André's career. She has also authored several books and shaped the very branding that has become synonymous with the essence of André's name, evoking emotional resonance, elegance, and approachability. Her literary background proved invaluable in crafting his concerts, particularly for international audiences. She ensured the narratives were not only understandable, but deeply moving. She meticulously guided his scripts and song lists, tailoring them to resonate across cultural boundaries. In a rare interview, she stated her unwavering preference. She never desired to be a celebrity wife, choosing instead to let André command the public stage while she maintained control behind the scenes and within their family. What formidable challenges did André face before he ascended to become the King of the Waltz? The arduous climb before the dazzling spotlight. Before achieving his regal title, he knew poverty, battling not only cultural constraints, but also crippling financial hardship and profound uncertainty. Growing up in a musically rich yet strictly rigid household in Maastricht, Netherlands, André was born in 1949. His father was a conductor, leading the Limburg Symphony Orchestra, granting André early exposure to music, but also burdening him with immense expectations and scant emotional support. From a young age, he dedicated himself to the violin, studying at the Conservatoire Royal in Liège and later in Maastricht. He continued his education at the Music Academy in Brussels, graduating with distinction. Yet, even with his undeniable talent, he chafed against the narrow confines of the classical world. He felt the traditional concert format was too detached from the average person, too steeped in formality and elitism. His vision was to make classical music accessible and joyful for everyone, infusing it with theatricality, an approach often scorned by purists as unserious or overly commercial. During the 1980s, he played in various orchestras to earn a living, starting in a salon orchestra that performed in smaller venues, community centers, and corporate events. The gigs offered moderate pay but demanded relentless travel under exhausting conditions. His dream of sold-out arenas seemed a distant fantasy. Then came 1987, a pivotal year. He founded his own orchestra, starting with a mere 12 members. The early years were a brutal struggle. Financial resources were scarce, forcing him to pour his own savings, even incurring debt, to fund transportation, costumes, instruments, and rehearsal spaces. He was an unknown entity, and convincing venues to book a waltz orchestra was an uphill battle. Criticism rained down, accusing him of diluting and cheapening classical music. Bookings were inconsistent and disheartening. His breakthrough was agonizingly slow. Then, a turning point. The release of his recording of the Second Waltz by Dmitri Shostakovich became a massive sensation in the Netherlands in the early 1990s. This unexpected triumph shifted his perspective on his musical approach. Yet, even after this hit, he still faced staunch resistance from the classical music elite and skepticism from promoters. But in the mid-1990s, fueled by relentless hard work, unwavering persistence, and a growing legion of devoted fans, Rieu began to fill larger venues. He boldly reinvented his orchestra, scaling up his productions. But with this growth came an even heavier workload. It took years before his operation achieved financial stability, and his name resonated internationally. I attended to all the concerts of my father, and so I saw the whole classical music. I heard her whole classical music. When will the day come when André Rieu announces his retirement? And might his children one day carry on his extraordinary legacy? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Remember to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories. And don't forget to click on the next video appearing on your screen. You won't want to miss it.